our viewers watching us live via Facebook and YouTube. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. We would like to welcome participants from Philippine Air Force, DSW Central Office. Magandang hapon po. DPWH Central Office. Maasin City, Southern Leyte, LGU. Magandang hapon po sa inyo dyan. Palampon Institute of Technology, Palampon, Leyte. Philippine Rice Research Institute. Davao City Mayor's Office. Magandang hapon po sa inyo dyan. Magandang hapon po all the way to Mindanao Development Authority. PPA Catbalogan. PPA Bicol. As well as sa NFA Leyte Branch Office. Good afternoon din po sa mga taga Bulacan State University Malolos Campus. Magandang hapon po. Good afternoon all the way to DOT Region 5 Legazpi City. Magandang hapon. Indeed, we have a lot of viewers from different agencies all over the Philippines, and we appreciate your presence for this afternoon. Welcome again to the first day of this webinar series, and I hope you're all having a great afternoon. Before we proceed, we would like to remind our participants that in order to get the e-certificate of attendance, you should accomplish the session and course evaluation forms and pass the exam. The unified 3-day evaluation and exam will be given towards the end of the third session on Friday, October 7. For your questions, please feel free to write it in the comment section of Facebook or at the live chat section po para sa ating mga YouTube audience. We will try to answer as much as possible all the questions live at the end of the session later. Without further ado, now, allow me to introduce our guest speaker for the first session of the webinar. Our speaker is a digital and culture transformation, thought and action leader, a sought-after public speaker, and an accomplished educator, author, business columnist, and innovation coach. He is the CEO of Hungry Workhorse, a digital and culture transformation consulting firm, and a fellow at the Institute of Digital Transformation. He has previously held senior executive roles at Microsoft, Samsung, Globe Telecom, Emerson, and IBM. He is also the country representative of the Institute of Change and Transformation Professional Asia, among others. With his expertise on digital transformation, management, and leadership, he is also a renowned lecturer for both the De La Salle University and Asian Institute of Management, and the business columnist and writer for Manila Times. Ladies and gentlemen, let us all give a warm welcome to our case presenter this afternoon, Mr. Reynaldo Lugtu. Mr. Ray, magandang hapon po.
Yeah, thank you, Miko. Good afternoon. Let me share my screen, Miko. And you can see my screen, Miko?
Yes, Doc.
All right. So, good afternoon, everyone. I will talk about digital transformation. So, the basics of digital transformation. And welcome, I'm Rey Lugtu. There, so even presentations need to digitally transform. Let's go back. So I will talk about digital transformation, but first let me introduce my company. So we are a digital and cultural transformation consulting firm. We have end-to-end transformation methodology and domain expertise in digital transformation, organization development, business process, and enterprise architecture. Now, for today, I will talk about these topics. What is digital transformation? The benefits of digital transformation, drivers of digital transformation, and then the steps in digital transformation. And then finally, I will close it with culture transformation. Now, first, let me discuss what happened. So there's always this parody in the internet. Who led the digital transformation of your company during COVID? Is it the CEO, or COVID-19? So this is telling something true about what's happening. In the last 2 years during the pandemic, COVID-19 forced organizations, including public sector, to transform digitally. So what took 10 years or more than 10 years for several organizations to pursue digital transformation, many companies pursued it for only a few years and even a few months for some.
At the beginning of the crisis, the focus, quite rightly, was really on business continuity and how can we save costs and so forth. But we see a clear shift so that now the focus is shifting towards innovation. So those organizations that are focusing their digital transformation on innovation initiatives today are outperforming other organizations.
So in our panel, we really found that there were two main aspects that related to crisis preparedness. One of them was digital maturity before the crisis. So those organizations that really invested in digital transformation before the crisis, they weathered the crisis much better than those who were not prepared. And related to that, one interesting aspect was exposure to disruption before the crisis, because they had a training ground beforehand. So that really made a big difference to them.
Those companies that are maybe a little bit behind on digital, so it's really up to management to kind of push that culture of experimentation, that tolerance for failure, try something new, try something different. On digital or not on digital, now's the time to innovate.
All right, so according to experts, it's not too late to pursue digital transformation. Those who pursue digital transformation before the pandemic weathered the storm better than those who did not. So we will talk about the drivers of digital transformation. What drives organizations to transform digitally? Now, we have known the concept of VUCA. The world is already volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. This is providing complexity, uncertainty, volatility, and ambiguity to many organizations, including public sector organizations. And the biggest impact of VUCA is disruption. Now, disruption is any disturbance, problem, which interrupt an event, an activity, or a process. COVID-19 obviously is the biggest disruptor in our lifetime. And we have to make sense of what's happening in this environment. And we need to find solutions through innovation in order to weather another disruption. Now, there are four drivers of disruption and innovation apart from COVID-19. So number one is multi-generations in the workplace. Now, this is the only time in the history of work where we have all the generations, meeting in the workplace, in private sector and public sector. And this is providing complexities in the way we manage these employees. There are generational differences in consuming, buying, learning, and working among these different generations. It is affecting how companies operate. It is affecting how companies and organizations serve their clients and customers. The second driver is the breakneck speed of technological advancement. Now, we know even before the pandemic that technology has been advancing so fast. It is driving digital transformation even before the pandemic. Let's watch a list of technologies to look out to. These are the top 10 technologies to watch out for in 2022 as regards digital transformation. Now, these technologies comprise what we call the fourth industrial revolution. These technologies affect industries, organizations, and the public sector alike. Now, the third driver are emerging competitors, startups, and tech companies. Now, if you look at this slide, before the pandemic, we have seen new competitors and new players in the market. Take a look at Facebook, the world's largest media company, owning no content. Alibaba, the world's largest merchant, owning no inventory. And Google, the world's largest software vendor, doesn't write most of the apps. Now, these are the types of competitors and players right now in the global scene. It is disrupting organizations. Now, the fourth driver is the Black Swan and Gray Swan events. Now, this Black Swan and Gray Swan concept, went into our consciousness when the pandemic struck. COVID-19 belongs to the Gray Swan event. There are low to medium probability events, but with extremely high impact. And so we cannot discount the possible, happenings when it comes to Gray Swan and even Black Swan event. Black Swan, take a look at the example, World War I. The internet is considered a black swan, but there are also white swan events that disrupt the environment. So all of these disruptions are contributing to the already VUCA world. Generational differences, technological advancement, emerging competitors, and black swan and gray swan events. Now, all of these force organizations to innovate and pursue digital transformation. Now, the question is, what is digital transformation? There's a lot of definition out there, but we will define this based on already available literature and based on how we engage with our clients. Now, let's first define what digital transformation is not. Now, many people think that digital transformation is merely involves injecting digital technologies into existing businesses. For example, it is not putting up a website. Digital transformation is not setting up an e-commerce platform. It is not automating processes. Instead, it is an integrated, cohesive, and strategic way of transforming the whole organization. And let me stress that the whole organization. The plan has to be integrated and cohesive. That's why we define digital transformation as a set of strategic actions to accelerate business activities, processes, competencies, and models by fully leveraging on the changes and opportunities of the digital technologies and their impact in a strategic and prioritized way. So it is strategic in nature, which means it is organization-wide. It takes into account the whole organization and its different components. It is not merely changing one component of an organization. So when we talk about the organization, we provide a digital transformation framework. We said that digital transformation has to be organization-wide. We define the organization based on 4 major components. The first component is the operations and business model. There are 4 subcomponents here. The profit model, network structure and process. The second major component is the offering. So product performance and product system. The third component is all about customers, service, channel, brand, and customer engagement. And lastly, the most important is the culture and people. Now, all of these parts, we need to plan for digital transformation in order for it to be called a digital transformation. But you can start transforming some, few, or even all components at the same time. Now, once we understand all of these components, we need to understand the capabilities we need to build. For example, capabilities in cost efficiency, innovative products, or productivity, or improving customer experience. Then only after that, we apply the technologies. So take note that technology comes out last. It is, so that's why digital transformation is not about technology. Now we will define each component one by one and give examples. Now the examples I will give you are things I lifted during the pandemic, and they are about businesses, small businesses, but all of these are applicable in public sector. Well, first one is profit model, the way the company is making money. Now, during the height of the pandemic, many organizations moved into transforming how they make money. For example, subscription commerce or monthly or regular payment. In this example, even milk tea has been transformed into a subscription model. Network are the connections with others to create value. An example is how organizations partnered with logistics companies. So logistics companies are digitally enabled, integrated into an organization's operations. Another example, one example is this SME in the Philippines, which partnered with transportation providers in order to transform how they make money. The next component are structure. It's the alignment of your talents and assets. An example is how this SME, Queensland, transformed how it operates by using chatbots to automate answering inquiries, requesting quotations, and so on. Now, the next component is process. These are signature and superior methods of doing your work. So like how San Miguel and Emperador transformed their production line to manufacture a disinfecting alcohol, right, in order to meet the demand for disinfecting alcohol during the pandemic. Now, product performance are the distinguishing features and functionality of your offering. An example is how digital banking has grown during the pandemic. Many banks, all banks almost have offered digital banking capability. The next is product system, the complementary products and services that you offer. An example is how 3D printing played a vital role against COVID-19. So, 3D printing printed many of the health care devices during that time. Service are the support and enhancements that surround your offerings. An example is how we saw the rise in community commerce. Business people, SMEs engage in virtual community commerce, taking advantage of platforms like Facebook and even other platforms like Viber. Some SMEs in Manila during 2020 engaged in hybrid community commerce, offering foodstuff in their internet while delivering face-to-face or physically. Now, channel is how your offerings are delivered to your customers. And an example is how e-commerce have grown to become a spotlight of business during 2020 and 2021. And it is still growing now. E-commerce has continued to grow and has been sustaining up to this time. Let's watch this. All right, so that's how e-commerce have transformed the way we buy and the way businesses sell to their customers. Now let's move to the next component, channel. Now these are how your offerings are delivered to customers and users. We have seen how the banks transformed how they deliver service during the pandemic when the likes of Union Bank and PNB used their technology combined with physical assets like vehicles to offer banking on wheels. brand is the representation of your offerings. An example is how content has become king during the height of COVID-19 when many businesses suffered because of closure. An example is how this company, the Hilton Hotels, because they were closed during the height of the pandemic, Hilton Hotels, shared the recipe of their much sought after chocolate chip cookie. So it created a brand equity among its consumers. Now, next component is customer engagement. How the distinctive interactions you foster with your customers. An example is how Chipotle, a US-based fast food chain, they launched lid flip TikTok. So it was trending. It used technologies such as TikTok and other social media applications to engage with their customers during this time. Now, lastly is employees, people and culture. So, we have seen how employees, transformed how they work when work from home has become the new normal during these last 2 years. And it is now transforming into a hybrid model. But, still, employees have been empowered using technologies like video conferencing tool. Now, in summary, this is the digital transformation framework. And as we have mentioned, digital transformation is holistic, strategic. You have to plan for the whole organization and implement in parts. It is not implementing one-point solution without considering the whole. That is the problem of those organizations that jumped into the bandwagon of digital transformation in 2020. They engage into e-commerce without integrating the many parts of the organization. Now that resulted in bad customer experience. So this is the framework. We have to plan for digital transformation across all of these components and then implement in parts or even many parts. And as we have mentioned, we need to have objectives, the objectives of digital transformation, and finally, choosing the technology that will enable digital transformation. Now, what are the benefits of digital transformation? We have seen this during the height of the pandemic, and let's watch this video.
8 benefits of digital transformation. For many companies, the driver for digital transformation is cost-related. Moving data to a public, private, or hybrid cloud environment lowers operational costs. It frees up hardware and software costs while freeing up team members to work on other projects. 1. Enhanced data collection. Most businesses are collecting mountains of data on customers, but the real benefit is optimizing this data for analysis that can drive the business forward. Digital transformation creates a system for gathering the right data and incorporating it fully for business intelligence at a higher level. It creates a way that different functional units within an organization can translate raw data into insights across various touchpoints. By doing this, it produces a single view of the customer journey, operations, production, finance, and business opportunities. 2. Greater resource management. Digital transformation consolidates information and resources into a suite of tools for business. Rather than dispersed software and databases, it brings together company resources all into one place. The average number of applications used in enterprise businesses in 2020 is 900. That makes it exceptionally difficult to provide a consistent experience. Digital transformation can integrate applications, databases, and software into a central repository for business intelligence. Digital transformation is not a department or functional unit. It encompasses every area of a business and can lead to process innovation and efficiency across units. 3. Data-driven customer insights. Data can be the key to unlocking customer insights. By better understanding your customer and their needs, you can create a business strategy that is even more customer-centric. Using both structured data, personal customer information, and unstructured data, such as social media metrics, these insights can help drive business growth. Data enables strategies to provide more relevant, personalized, and agile content. 4. An overall better customer experience. Customer expectations are sky high when it comes to their experience. Customers have gotten used to having endless choices, low prices, and fast delivery. Customer experience is the new battleground. Gartner reports that more than 2/3 of companies say they are competing mostly on customer experience. In 2020, they expect that number to rise to 81%. Accenture reports that CX has emerged as the key driver of sustainable business growth. They suggest that even a single point increase in CX scores can result in millions of dollars in annual growth. 5. Encourages digital culture with improved collaboration. By providing team members with the right tools, tailored to their environment, digital transformation encourages a digital culture. While these tools provide an easy way for collaboration, they also help to move the entire organization ahead digitally. This digital culture will be crucial in the future. It forces the upskilling and digital learning of team members to take advantage of the benefits of digital transformation. 6. Increased profits. Companies that undergo digital transformation improve efficiency and profitability. Consider these results reported by the SAP Center for Business Insights and Oxford Economics. 80% of organizations that have completed digital transformation report increased profits. 85% say they have increased their market share. On average, leaders expect 23% higher revenue growth than competitors. 7. Increased agility. Digital transformation makes organizations more agile. Borrowing from the world of software development, businesses can increase their agility with digital transformation to improve speed to market and adopt continuous improvement strategies. This allows for faster innovation and adaptation while providing a pathway to improvement. 8. Improved productivity. Having the right tech tools that work together can streamline workflow and improve productivity. By automating many manual tasks and integrating data throughout the organization, it empowers team members to work more efficiently.
All right, so those are the benefits of digital transformation. So in summary, in a nutshell, these are the benefits of digital transformation. So, we mentioned greater innovation, increased revenue, faster time to market, agility, resiliency, responsiveness, and so on. A lot of benefits, everyone. Now let's talk about the steps to take. How do we now pursue digital transformation? Now we have been preaching this method. There is a concept called dual transformation. So dual transformation, when you pursue digital transformation, we implement this concept. It means there's two streams of transformation. One, transformation A, is repositioning today's business to maximize its resilience. And transformation B, creating tomorrow's growth engine and combining that with the unique skills and resources of the organization. These are what we call capabilities linked. So transformation A, everyone, is all about pursuing your existing customers, transforming your business model, and implementing transformation tactics. On the other hand, transformation B is pursuing unserved new customers, creating new business models, and pursuing transformation tactics. Now, the capabilities link is an important component because this is where we leverage the strengths of the organization. We combine unique, difficult to replicate assets of the organization, use only those that truly bring competitive advantage, and then leverage on valuable assets of the organization. And then finally, develop and implement systems to and also create digital transformation governance. So essentially, dual transformation is repositioning today while creating tomorrow. So we have two streams. So transformation A and transformation B. This happens in parallel or side by side. Now, let's talk about the end-to-end transformation, which is transformation B, to illustrate the end-to-end process. So first, before any digital transformation, we need to revisit the vision and mission and values of the organization, if it's aligned. Now, next, we identify new customer personas. These are new customer types that you need to serve. The second phase involves the auditing. This is baselining where you are as an organization. We evaluate the current business model, competitive position map, customer journey map, and employee experience mapping. The next stage is coming up with strategies and tactics. We prioritize them. We craft the value proposition of the organization because you are serving new clients. And from all of these, we map the future business model. We come up with the roadmap of the implementing the digital transformation initiatives. These roadmaps can span several years. We can deep dive into the organization. We can do organization assessment, business process assessment, people and competencies alignment, and this is where technology comes in, enterprise architecture. And then finally, the most important and most difficult component of any transformation is culture transformation and change management. We will briefly discuss one by one to give you an idea what they are. Well, first is revisiting the mission and vision of the organization. Now, this is important because this is where all it starts. The CEO or the head of the organization should be the one driving digital transformation, not anyone else. It should be the head of the organization. Now, next step is identifying new customers. Who are the customers that I'm serving? Now, earlier we identified that in today's world, we have seen the mixing of the different generations. Generation Z, those below 25 years old, they are presenting as a new set of customers. We need to understand them and transform the business and organization based on them. Now, we define the customer personas. Like, what's the profile of my customer? We need to identify those behaviors. We need to identify their wants, needs, fears, and challenges. And from there, it becomes the basis of transforming the organization. Now, another step is looking at the business model. Now, the business model is how the organization creates, delivers, and captures value. And then taking into account the value delivered to the customers and how that value is captured by the organization in terms of revenue and profit. Let's watch an example of business model transformation or business model innovation.
Why is Amazon such a successful company? How come Tinder disrupted the overcrowded online dating market? And how did Spotify manage to make people pay for music again? Well, let me give you some quick answers here in the promo video, so you understand what this course is all about. Since the beginning, Amazon based its whole innovation strategy on constantly disrupting the sales and delivery channels, which are just one part of a business model of a company. They started by disrupting channels for the books market. Instead of going to a library to buy and pick up your physical books, you would order them online and get them delivered by post directly to your home. That was channel innovation, and Amazon kept doing this ever since by selling more and more products online. When they created the Kindle, it became yet a new sales and delivery channel for books. You can both buy and receive books on your Kindle. And now Amazon is experimenting with drone delivery, which is yet another delivery channel, and they also introduced the Echo device with Alexa and the Dash buttons, which are both new sales channels. So instead of going on Amazon.com to order something, you can now tell Alexa to do it or press your Dash button. So both these devices are innovative sales channels. As you can see, Amazon is mainly innovating in one single area of the business model, which is the sales and delivery channels. Spotify is doing the same, but in another area of the business model, which is the revenue models. If we go back to the CD era, you needed to pay a big sum of money for a whole album, even if you only liked a few songs on it. Then Apple came with iTunes and disrupted this market by allowing people to pay for each song individually. That was the first massive revenue model innovation in the music industry. But illegal downloading was still a big problem and music revenues were going down. Eventually, Spotify came and proposed a streaming model where you could listen to music for free but with advertising, and the ad revenue was distributed among artists. So this was once again a revenue model innovation for the music industry. More and more people downloaded the app, but still, it didn't make enough money for the artists. That's why Spotify later introduced a paid version of its app, without advertising and with better features. So the whole revenue model became what we call a freemium one. That's when you have both free and paying users. And Spotify managed to reach a stunning 25% conversion rate. It seems that finally, the music industry has reached the right pricing and revenue model. So the success of Spotify is largely based on its disruptive revenue model in the music industry. And once again, this is just one block of their business model. And finally...
So there you go. So when we evaluate the business model, we evaluate these different components, and we can group these components into product, customer, resource, and revenue. Now, this is, again, parts of the organization that we need to transform. Remember when I said that a digital transformation is considering all of these components. So that's why business model innovation will look at some or all of these components. Now, another activity we need to do when we plan for digital transformation is we need to map the competitive position of the organization. And this is where we come back again to the different components of the business. These 11 components, we derive innovation for each of the components. We map the organization versus other emerging competitors and new competitors and traditional competitors, similar to this graph. And from this graph, now we will see the gap of the organization that you want to transform digitally versus the benchmark organizations. Once we have identified the gap, this is where we choose innovation tactics. These are now the execution points where we can implement digital transformation. Now, the next, another step is customer journey mapping. This is where we map the customer experience of the organization. Now, customer experience is the entirety of the interaction a customer has with a company, an organization, and its products. And the overall experience reflects how the customer feels about the organization and the offerings. So we map the experience, which illustrates the customer's processes, needs, perceptions throughout the interaction across the different components of the organization. And the output of that will be innovation tactics again. This is an example of a customer journey map. And also, the next are strategies and tactics. So we derive strategies and tactics from those exercises, and we prioritize. So strategies and tactics are derived from the competitive position mapping, customer journey mapping, and employee experience map. We prioritize this and create a 3-horizon model, which creates the roadmap of your digital transformation plan. Now, the prioritization matrix is evaluated based on the impact of that initiative and the effort. And from that list of prioritized tactics, we create a roadmap. The roadmap, this is now your digital transformation plan. It can span, 1, 2, 3, 4, even more than 5 years into 3 horizons. Now, Horizon 1 is how you maintain and strengthen the core business. Horizon 2 is how we develop new opportunities and grow the business. And Horizon 3 is how do we prepare for disruption in the future. Now, we can also drill down on the organization. We can do an organization assessment, business process assessment, people and competencies alignment, and then enterprise architecture. And then the most important component here, everyone, is identifying the key performance indicators. Because even though you implement digital transformation, you need to make sure that the targets of each of the employees are aligned to the objectives of the digital transformation. An example of a roadmap is this. So this is an example of a roadmap that shows the different initiatives, projects, and activities for each of the component of the drill down in the organization. So we have organization and people, business process, and technology and data architecture. Right? It creates your blueprint on what initiatives to implement from in different years. Now, once we have this plan, we said that probably the most difficult part of digital transformation is culture transformation, because according to studies, culture and people are the biggest barriers to digital transformation. Several studies and literature already point to this fact that digital transformation, its success is hindered by a resistant culture. So we need to make sure that digital transformation is aligned with culture. So that's why we need to transform culture as well. If we want to transform culture, we need to consider these components. There has to be top-down management mandate, because the organization's head is the owner of digital transformation. We need to do some training and enablement, because you are implementing new processes, new technologies. We need to sustain those behaviors with a lot of intervention activities. We need to engage in employee communications to make sure that everyone is aligned. And then finally, we need to reinforce those behaviors with recognition and rewards. So in summary, culture transformation is identifying the current state. And the current state is based on your objective for the digital transformation. It can be building digital capabilities, or building a customer-centric organization, or optimizing your operations. And then the current state is the baseline. We have gone into the baseline activities. The interventions are the critical parts, which make sure that the employees are changing their behavior. So that's why if we drill down on the activities to change the behavior of employees, it's not an easy task. It entails a long term engagement. So we launched the program. We identify the current skill set of employees. We conduct training and enablement, a lot of workshop to change their behavior. And then we do sustaining programs to make sure that the behavior stays there. And then we measure that after the intervention. So this is the end-to-end process of culture transformation. Now that ends my presentation. So we have discussed the different aspects of digital transformation. And we are now open to questions. Miko?
Thank you so much, Mr. Ray. Actually, Sir Ray, sobrang interesting ng topics. I'm quite sure our participants are now guided on how to understand digital transformation better. If I may share lang po, I used to work in the private sector before, specifically in the tech manufacturing industry. And I can vouch that digital transformation is at their forefront in ensuring that their industry stays afloat. Relating that to the public sector, I think it is quite high time to appreciate the significance po ng topic natin, which is digital transformation, and how to somewhat successfully lodge it into the system. Kasi hindi lang siya one-way approach. Before po ang understanding ko, ang digital transformation, ano lang siya, automation. Pero hindi pala, it's a whole of governance approach. transformation means everything, hindi isang
Yes.
aspeto lang.
Correct.
So, let's jump into, sir, answering the questions from our webinar participants po, no? Meron po tayong question dito from Facebook. Ang sabi po, looking at how vast digital transformation is, from your perspective, how can we simplify the process?
How can we simplify? No, it's not. We cannot simplify the process. No, Biko. No, it is what it is. No, all right. So, and that's the draw. That's the problem of many organizations. No, if you look at digital transformation in a simplistic manner, you will invest in technology without reaping the rewards of that technology. You will be wasting money. No? I have seen many organizations, Miko, no? Local organizations, when e-commerce platforms became fashionable, they jumped into the bandwagon of e-commerce without making sure that this e-commerce platform is integrated in their backend. It's integrated in how their employees work. So it failed miserably, everyone. So it is not simple, everyone. We have to accept that. It is complex. That's why it has to be methodical. It has to be deliberate. It has to be well planned. It is not something that you just jump into and and be called something someone like transforming. It entails investment in time, effort, and resources. Right. So I'm sorry that's the answer, because successful companies that engage in transformation took them several years to fully transform. So it's something that we cannot do haphazardly. There has to be a well-planned approach to this.
Agree, sir. It's a framework nga po eh.
Yeah.
So, isa pang question from our Facebook audience from Miss Marilu Binanitan. Traditional values and practices, is it similar po to cultural transformation?
Traditional values and practices, yes. Now, many organizations, the main barrier is the traditional values and practices, especially if that organization is an old organization. Now, and with tenured employees. Now, resistance happens among employees. If you implement digital transformation that involves changing processes, implementing technology, more often than not, these employees resist. They resist. If they resist, you will not maximize the impact of these new technologies and processes. Therefore, the transformation will fail miserably. We have seen this with many organizations, Miko, where all employees resisted. So that's why in private sector, in successful transformation in private sector, it requires retooling of employees. If you cannot change as an employee and adapt to transformation, you will be left out. In fact, you will be forced out by the organization if you do not change.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I just want to build upon that comment po, no? Kasi you mentioned culture, you mentioned resistance po. A personal question lang po. We all know that transformation is not linear. It's a multifaceted process po. Taking into consideration, what advice can you give po to avoid falling back into old habits? Old habits means regressing back to manual process instead of transforming forward.
Right. Well, transforming behavior, Miko, is a long-term game, right? So it's not like training, the employees once, and that's it. That's the problem with many transformation projects. They conduct training, like for example, a simple email, Miko, simple email, or a simple video conferencing tool. So many organizations, including public sector, adopted the email and the video conferencing tool. They were trained, but one training is not enough. You have to use it, you have to practice it, and you have to maximize the use of the tool. So the behavior needs to be there, and behavior change is not automatic, Miko. So the organization is responsible to put this in their KPI. So they are forced or incentivized to change the behavior. Because if you lead them to their resources, they will not do it. Especially if we talk about older generation employees.
May resistance nga po. Sir, one question from YouTube. how can we implement digital transformation without disrupting the ongoing activities of the agencies or institutions?
A good question. Yes, it is possible. That's why I showed the framework dual transformation. Right? So you can transform the important components, but it's critical that you have a blueprint. The blueprint will make sure that you transform medium term and long term without really disrupting big time. The problem of some organizations, especially in private, is that they transform too quickly, which breaks the culture of the organization. Now, in public sector, you have to have a blueprint, and that blueprint should be based on a grand plan of integrating all the components of the agency, no, or the department. And that blueprint is followed on a yearly basis. No? And you make sure that all of these things that you implement are all connected. Otherwise, no, if you implement something not connected to the other components, then again, it will be a waste of time, effort, and money.
Agree. Agree, sir. Sir, building up dun sa idea of blueprint, naalala ko lang, since digital transformation is one of the foundation of sustainable development. So in the context of the public sector naman, sir, how can digital transformation contribute towards building a smart city?
Yes, no. So a smart city, no, a city can transform. No? So that's why there's a concept of the smart city. No? Similar to an organization, a city is like it's a bigger organization. You know, a city needs to follow a blueprint. Again, no, it's hard to implement, abrupt or big time transformation in a city without making sure that the agencies within the city and the citizens in the city are aligned, mentally, values-wise, and even behavior-wise. So it's important, Miko, to implement, smart city in dual transformation mode, which means that you look for quick wins. What are the quick wins I can implement now to reap some gains while developing a long-term plan? Right. So it's important. It is always important in smart city implementation to look for quick wins without disrupting the whole city operations. So the worst part is we implement big time big changes in the city without making sure that everyone is aligned, and this will result in resistance, disruption, and even chaos.
Sige, sir. Sir, since we're talking about sustainable development din naman po, I'd like to merge one question from Facebook and one question from YouTube since halos similar siya. First question is, how can we balance digital transformation with heritage and environment conservation? And the next one is, what about cybersecurity measures in digital transformation?
Okay, so good question on the heritage and sustainability. So that is a big component now, and I've given lectures on technologies available that preserve the environment, that preserve heritage. There's a lot of technology out there, Miko. There's many startups and many tech companies already producing technologies aligned to sustainability. So in the same fashion, we plan for it. We create a blueprint, but we have to be conscious of technologies that we use. Technologies that are aligned to sustainability. There's a lot of them, Miko. So technologies that reduce waste, reduce wastage in organizations. There's a lot of them. We just need to plan for it. Cybersecurity, on the other hand, yes. When digital transformation became popular during the pandemic, cybersecurity also became a big problem. Right. So. And the problem with cybersecurity, it's run by the cyber threats are run by criminals, and they're more advanced. They are more advanced than the organizations themselves. So similar to culture transformation. So being conscious of cyber threats is a cultural issue. Did you know, Miko, that 80% of cyber threats are behavioral in nature? 80% of cyber breaches. So when a threat comes into an organization and destroys the system, 80% of the time they are caused by employees who are ignorant of not using or not opening any of the files. So many of the cyber threats are just simply clicking a link, clicking opening an email. All of these are behavioral in nature. No matter how much technology you put in, if the employees continue to to be not conscious of these issues, then it will be a constant threat to organizations. So that's why employees, even in public sector, everyone needs to be educated on this. You cannot just download an app and change your face because of that app, because it's cute, and your mobile is connected to your system. And so everyone has to be conscious of this. But it is a fight for that needs to be fought by everyone.
Mm. Tama, sir. So I was reminded po sa quote na the design is not at fault. It's the fidelity of the implementation. Sir, itong question na to ay very timely to discuss from Mr. Jimson Navarro sa YouTube. Sir, is it advisable to adapt to the new digital transformation if our problem is the connection, meaning slow, sir, and connectivity of our internet?
Okay, so again, good question. You know what? Even connectivity and technology companies are adapting to low bandwidth. Take note, many organizations and many tech companies are adapting their applications to low bandwidth environments. Take a look at the example of banking. There's already cloud banking where it's implemented in the cloud, and it can run. The application can run even without any connection. When you look for a connection, then it runs again. So, Zoom, for example, Zoom launched, and other applications. They are making their application lightweight in order to accommodate the low bandwidth in low bandwidth environments like the Philippines. So again, technology is adapting. Technology companies are also realizing that. And again, this has to be part of your plan.
Mm-mm. Thank you so much, sir. Sir, meron tayong isang question dito from Facebook naman po, kay Ms. Val Samson. How can we fully implement digital transformation when our government agency auditors would still require wet signatures, hard copy of documents, and etc.? Medyo contentious ang
Yes. So ayan, well, that has to be left to the those who create policies. Diba? So the policies need to change. So if we go digital, then the policies need to change, right? Probably the question, Miko, is where do we implement digital transformation in government? Can we implement big time? Which agencies first? So that's the question of many lawmakers. I've seen the attempt of many lawmakers to propose digital transformation bills, like Sherwin Gatchalian. Before he, the end of the term, last election, he was already proposing digital transformation in agencies. Before, it was organization-wide, the whole government. It is not feasible to implement the whole digital transformation, the whole government, big bang. That's not going to be feasible. We have to look for agencies that are open, can gain big benefits immediately, and then make that infectious across the different agencies in the Philippines.
Mm-mm. Sir, may follow-up question po tayo from Ms. Joy Esplana in connection po sa discussion natin. Sir, di ba foremost, there has to be seeing eye to eye amongst concerned national government agencies as regards localizing digitalization. Example are COA requiring hard copies as proof of transactions.
Yeah, so they have to see eye to eye. That's correct. If that doesn't happen, Miko, then nothing will proceed. So we have to see eye to eye with everyone, all the stakeholders first. Diba, kailangan they have to agree on the concepts and the basics, like even digitization of documents. We're just talking about digitization of documents. It's a simple matter, which has been implemented in many countries already. So if we cannot proceed with this, what more the more complex transformation that we need to do in government.
Agree, sir. So I'd like to commend one comment from Mr. Roberto Liwanag. The big blueprint is very important and has to be workable with all the financial needs for the transformation and technology literate. I agree, sir, kay Sir Roberto. Importante ang big blueprint kasi ito ay magsiserve as guiding reference sa
Right.
pag-institutionalize ng digital transformation.
Right.
Sir, one question from Mr. Jeyus Roble from Facebook. Do you have a book, sir, article or journal about digital transformation that we can use for citation?
All right, you can Google my name. Just Google me, Rey Lugtu, and then digital transformation, culture transformation. And I'm releasing a co-authored book in December with an international organization. I'm part of the Institute for Digital Transformation based in the US. We'll be releasing a book in November, December. We'll start releasing that book in Asia and then globally. So you can watch out for that. You can add me LinkedIn or Facebook, and you can and also check our website, hungryworkhorse.com.
Okay, thank you so much, Sir Ray. I think that is all the time that we have for the first day of the webinar series on digital transformation for enhancing public sector productivity. Our sincerest appreciation, Sir Ray, to our resource person for being with us today despite busy schedule. Maraming salamat po for lending your time sa amin, Sir Ray.
Yeah, thank you.
Again, we would like to remind our participants that in order to get an e-certificate of attendance, they should accomplish the session evaluation form and pass the exams. The link to the unified 3-day evaluation and exam will be given towards the end of the third session, which is on Friday, October 7. Please stay tuned with us until Friday. Thank you very much for your support and see you again tomorrow, October 6, same time, for the second run of our webinar series. Thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your day.